Yeah, buckle up. So again, there's a point where immigration will move back to where it was supposed to, or when it moves back to where it's supposed to be and becomes manageable. There's immigrants, you read their stories, and the reason that it's not working for them, including the ones going to jail, is because the system's not working the way it's supposed to work. They're not supposed to just get here and do whatever they want and come whenever and go whenever they want. That's why there's a ton of them in jail. That's why there's a ton of crime. That's why the one guy was it Joshy G or somebody, I think it was one of the guys online that gives money out. So there's this guy from Africa, obviously, and so Josh gives him he's going to give Josh a free car wash. He works at a car wash or whoever it was. It may have been one of the other guys. And then he says, I have money. I didn't need that, and here's $1,000, and he's all happy. So they raised $20,000 for him, and he goes back. But you'll miss it if you don't understand the paradigm of what's going on in immigration and illegal alienism. Again, it's not like Bavino says. There's an immigrant, and then there's a illegal alien. Because I'm fine with immigrants. It's the aliens that I'm illegal aliens, unlawfully present people. So he gives him the 20,000 and goes, I make money and but I have to pay for my room. Now I can send money back to my family. You see, it's not working for him. And I suspect that he's not here lawfully. So again, that's why law enforcement is supposed to run the operation, not politicians. Because you can find Americans going to jail all day. You can find sob stories and reasons to feel like the system's wrong. And I told you before, we'd sit in courtrooms sometimes, and you just somebody's because when you get to the sentencing, when you get to the sentencing, all the information comes out, and it's just a heart tugger. You're like, and then the person's about to die sometimes. You're like, they're going to send them off to jail. I get a lot of those today. They don't send them off; they just let them go and stay home or whatever. But yeah, you can find these things everywhere. But the system, you have to. It's just like going to war. You have to do it when you have to do it. There's sometimes you can't get out of it. And Iran's one of those situations. And the Democrats and all these foreign governments are backing Iran. And that's weird. And I believe they're extorted or paid. I believe 100%. I mean, some of it's Trump derangement syndrome. They'd murder their mother if they thought it would take Trump out of office. That's how sick they are. Some may have already. I don't know. Who knows? Sacrificed to Satan or something. Yeah, there's an Eliana derangement syndrome. I heard from it today. There's no way you're going to get me to hate her. That's why it's dangerous on this planet for me. Because she could be a Delilah, and I just smile the whole way to my death, like Samson. She don't give a shit when it comes to her spirituality, as far as what everybody else thinks. And I find that attractive in a person or in a woman. It's like, oh, he said person. That means he's looking for a man. I think you're looking for a man as well as all those people before you. I got hit on before by the deep state, but you don't know if it's and that's their cover. I think Well, who cares? We'll just say it's part of the investigation if he doesn't join our all male orgy, the DHS orgy. Oh no, they're gonna help, man. They project again. Being gay is not what killed Sodom and Gomorrah. It's projecting that sexuality and trying to rape others and all that. That's when it was destroyed. Because they were already gay all day, and Hashem entered the idea that we would, he would save it if he could, found certain number. So they have some sort of derangement syndrome. They're trying to, what it does is it tries to rewire anything negative in your life or that's happened in your life into the focus on that specific individual. Desperate, they tried it. No, they hate when I focus on women because then I'm obviously not gay. That's one of their scams. All I want to do is get married. They knew it. Right. They knew I just want to get married, find a religion, and settle down. And that was it. That was a good deal for the deep state, believe me. But they made merchandise of me in the marketplace. Well, I can already see that she's going to work in the afterlife. At this point, again, the future can change. So when she does, whenever it is she goes, I don't know when that is. If it's 4 years, 20 years, 50 years, I don't know. But she definitely goes right to work. Well, like I told you, the only reason I'm not dead is because Shem was stuck his foot down. I mean, here we are so many years later. The thing is, she's discovered at a young age, which, again, this may be because you find answers all along in life and other people's lives. So if they would have found me at a young age, I may have had worse trouble than I did. If I was, instead of asleep, being awake. So somebody came out and said, well, is she Venus? She could be Venus. I don't know. I could look closer at it. No, the deities come to this planet every so often. There's a great chance that Freddie Mercury was Mercury, the spirit of Mercury. Doesn't mean they hate God or anything. And of course, they would make him gay, give him AIDS. I hate Mercury, I'm sure. Because they're nobodies. The deep state and all those type of the devils, they're really nobody spiritually. But they create these gangs on Earth to kill people. And this might be their planet. Like, this wouldn't be a planet I would design. Neither God. God would not design this planet. Now, he designed the garden, which is a different planet. And if you know how planets work, that would make sense. I was looking at the one, I think it's Hashem just trying to communicate something where she looks like Shoshi, Shoshana, Shoshi. We call her Shushi, I guess. Unger. Something said she was a really nice person. I know for me, she was a really nice person. I was even more, when I got in that van, I felt great. Again, my family, I think, was jealous of some things about me, and I think they projected. Right. But it was only that. My brother scored by us not going to Beth Jacob, but I did. I would have never have thought to tell my mother that I didn't like it. That again, Unger went to the wrong kid. If Unger told me to go to synagogue, I'd have went to synagogue. But I said, "Well, you can pick me up one time." And no, you're not supposed to twist somebody's arm to make them go to synagogue. A young Jewish kid. Like if I was the first one, if I was the older kid, I would have said, Larry, we're going. Like if I was my brother, I'd say, Larry, we're going to synagogue. My little brother, we're going to synagogue. Reverend Unger wants to go to synagogue. We're going to synagogue. He was in an Orthodox synagogue. Conservative Orthodox, but it's not much different. The one that we were attending was Reform, but I don't think it's today's Reform. It's a little different back in the old neighborhood. But we went to Orthodox, Conservative. We went to a lot of different ones, different times when somebody would take us. My mother was, my father passed away, so she was working and going to school. Oh, you're the handicapped person. Oh. Should have a house up here. Much quieter up here. I'll probably drive through the community and heal it now. Oh. That's a nice one there. I think if I would have left early, I'd have been able to get into this other one here, which is even nicer than mine. Now, I don't think it has gas, but nah, it turned out that I should have left six. I should have just left 6 months earlier because I incurred the debt anyway. The transportation cost just as much as coming out of the apartment early. But I may never have gotten to Pittsburgh. That may not have materialized. So I may not have got here anyway. May have been ended up in Altoona. It's probably too dangerous in Altoona for somebody like me. Just looking for a more level lot. Cutting my grass is such a. But they came in with the weed whackers and cut some of the grade that was left that I hadn't cut yet. So maybe they're planning on doing that part. Or at least part time. See you looking here. One for that antenna. I've been looking at this one over here. It's much closer to the antenna. See, I probably would have been in a trailer home if I'd have come back to Pennsylvania when I was younger, but then I'd have bought a house. Everything would have come together. It's so screwy out there. So yeah, a lot of my stuff's starting to come on. These people online, like all those people giving money away. That's what I used to do. That's what I tell the influencers to do in the mime. Give away money. So no matter what, the pranksters, I say, if you want, you got to do something because you're pranking, and that's not really in line with what God would want. Because some people, have stress over that. And I said, as long as you give back, God will probably allow it. Not send you to hell. In the mind. It's all in the mind. But it's mind to mind. So Larry Mind Meld. Let me back in. Actually, let me back in. I got to put this thing up those stairs. It's going to be interesting. If you had a wife, she could help me with this. A helpmeet, what the King James version of the Bible calls. Actually, also, I think the Jewish version calls it a helpmeet. Gosh, Ileana's mother's got to be crushed. She did a really good job of raising the kids. But again, you have to be settled with God. It's this planet. It's not Hashem. Nobody updated the scriptures the right way. Of course, I tried, and they block a lot of it because they like the CIA version of the scriptures. It's like game, everyone. The Sanhedrin version. Well, stay peaceful. Again, the corrupt Sanhedrin when Yeshua was there, when Shimon was there, when Akiva was there. I think it started 100 years earlier.